the head and shoulders are china, and they survived. The
Welcome.
arms are china.
How's
The
everybody?
body was fabric, and so it had deteriorated. But it was donated to Murfreesboro Historical, and they had it refurbished. And it is said that she carried it and had it on her dresser wherever she lived. Now, he got a degree from University of Virginia, and then he went to Manhattan, New York, and got another medical degree. And he decided to become an Army doctor. He took a 30-hour grueling test and he was going to be a surgeon for the Army. He was stationed in Arizona, and it later became Fort Apache. Now, if you're the doctor on the reservation, you not only treat your soldiers, but all the Indians on the reservation. And we know the story because his daughter kept a diary, and so did his wife. And they were preserved, and the daughter was interviewed years later. And it says that while the family was in their home at Fort Apache, one night in the middle of the night, Indians were banging on the door. Renegade Indians brought a 6-year-old child, little girl, to them that had been burned terribly from the knees to the toes. Left her and ran away. They didn't want to go back to the reservation. He tried for weeks to doctor her, and nothing was happening very good. So he decided to do what he thought might work. He took a skin graft from, is it the right term if I haven't attached it? He took skin from above his elbow and grafted it on her knees, and it worked. Now that was before skin grafting was practiced very much. And he asked to adopt her. It took an act of Congress to allow him to adopt an Indian child. But she lived with him till she was 18 years old, and after he moved back east, she came. But one day they found a letter, and she said, I must go back to my people. And she became a teacher for the Indians. Now, were you in here when I asked if you thought what that is, an adult cradle? And for example, if I've got too much cooking to do, and you know the kitchen's a building out back for safety, I might ask you men, Parker Brothers over there, to take grandmother out there for me in the morning because I've got to cook, and we also have to look at the Okay, now he did write. Did I tell you about how he discovered it was the insects that caused yellow fever? Okay, let me back up to 1898. We have the Spanish-American War, and our troops are there. And you've got a lot of tropical diseases. You've got malaria, typhoid, yellow fever, and they're very common.
There you go.
There's a newspaper article over there where there was an outbreak up in the Virginia Beach area. And Louisiana, anywhere you kind of tropical, you might get this. So he was sent to Cuba, and he discovered Dr. Finlay, Finlay, who was a Cuban doctor who had the theory, I'm going to
Sure.
forward. He had the theory that it's insects that are carrying the diseases. Most people thought, it's just in the air, you're going to get. Oh, that man over there died from, there are mites in his clothes and all, and they're biting people. They thought the mites and things like that were spreading it. They decided to run an experiment, and we know the dimensions of 2 buildings that were built for the purpose, because he sent, Walter Reed sent his wife a sketch. 2 buildings, 20 by 14. I don't know, I haven't measured this room, but I'm only in here once a year, but I don't think 20 by 14 would be much bigger than this. They put a screen down the middle, and we need you soldiers to volunteer to help prove our theory. we'll pay you $100. $100, what's the risk? You might get it, you might die, okay? It said that $100 a few years ago, today, at that time, $100 6 years ago or so was estimated to be $3,000. Okay, in one of the buildings, they put a screen down the middle, everybody has the same air. Some of the volunteers had to sleep on the bedclothes of people who had died. What do you get if you get yellow fever? Well, you kind of turn yellow, you run a high fever, you vomit, you can't control your body fluids. They took the dirty bedclothes and you slept on them. We're going to see if you get the yellow fever from it. Nobody in that building got yellow fever. The other building that was 20 by 14, they let mosquitoes in there, and they had people who died. One of the early ones to die was, her last name was Moss, M-A-A-S. She was a child of a German immigrant family, and I'd have to check my notes. She was one of either 10 or 12 children. Her family needed the money. She wanted to send it to them. The first time she survived. The second time she volunteered, she did not. Cuba honored her with a stamp in her honor very early, maybe 30 or 40 years later. The United States did too. And there are hospitals named after her. Now we know that Walter Reed came back and he published scientific papers, and I don't know if I said this in the last 3 minutes or 10 minutes ago. He published at least 30 scientific papers, 10 of which are still used in medical schools today. He was brilliant, but he died at age 51 with a ruptured appendix and the complications from. I think most of us have heard of the Walter Reed Hospital and so many honors in his name. I'll try if you got a question. Might make me look foolish. I know these